Greetings, brothers and sisters. I'm Professor Spira, and this is a tribute to the great and now late Ornette Coleman. And Ornette Coleman is a jazz innovator known for playing the alto saxophone, and he also would play other instruments that he didn't necessarily have a lot of training in, but that he used as a way to express himself musically and spiritually in these different dimensions. And he was very, very much a just one of the great thinkers and innovators and creative geniuses of our time. And unfortunately, man that really didn't get the kind of attention and being embraced by larger groups of people than he really should have.
What do you want to do, Ornette? Shall I put it, just start you off and let you take it without a rehearsal? I mean, without a...
yeah, we just take it like it's supposed to be.
There's a lot of musicians that have been passing recently, and if I were to make tributes to all of them, I'd be probably doing a tribute almost every week, which maybe I should, but I wanted to say something about Ornette in particular because he had such his music's had such an influence on my life and a lot of people, either directly or indirectly, whether they realize it or not. I mean, a lot of the stuff that he did within the world of jazz, I mean, that influenced everything from funk, hip hop to aspects of R&B. I mean, there's just a lot of the inflections and some of the approaches that he took musically just really influence a lot more people than one might realize when you actually really trace a lot of the influences and the musicians. And it's one of those things. I talk about these kind of things a lot in my survey of African American music classes and that kind of thing, where I kind of show connections between some of the popular groups. You got your Earth, Wind and Fires and your Parliament Funkadelics, and there was all these groups that a lot of the hip hoppers kind of come out of, and R&B guys kind of come out of. So a lot of those traditions, but there's just such a disconnect in understanding the history of this music. American, as people call it, classical music. I call it black music. Just a continuum of musical experiences that stem out of the African diaspora. It's not, those of us that are in this arena, we're into the history, we're into it, but a lot of folks, a lot of musicians, a lot of rappers, a lot of folks, they just don't really investigate and understand the totality of this history. They might know the history of to a certain point. They'll know maybe Last Poets, but they don't go back any further. So anyway, I just wanted to share a few things with you guys. I actually had the opportunity to meet Ornette Coleman in 2008, and I was captured on film. I'd never uploaded it to this channel. There was another channel that I'd actually had uploaded pieces of it. I think it had like 50 views. It wasn't something that I that I promoted real heavily or anything, but I want to include it here. And so take a look. This is 2008. I'm going to start off with the piece where I actually meet Ornette. Then following that, there's a little clip of him performing that I took. And then after that, there is I actually talk a little bit about the event, so it kind of gives a little historical context as far as we were doing some street playing. You know, we went up there, wanted to check out Ornette. There was some other groups playing. Then, you know, played on the street for the Chicago Jazz Festival 2008. So talk a little bit about that here. So check it out.
Wait for that next record, too. Yeah, all right. Jazz trombonist and professor of music, black studies at Northern Kentucky University. Actually, what's the last one?
D minor.
Okay, yeah.
Those two tunes that all the 12 notes. Also, genius of language notes and the idea of all is inside of those movements.
You said C, say that one more time. C major 7. E flat minor 7. D minor with the flattest 5th. Got a gift for you, man. We have a band called the Breatharian Ensemble. A lot of cats practice. It's all vegetarian band, and you know, we're real influenced. We just played a tune of yours at our last concert, and our message is a message of health, you know, and so that's you know, the thing that we trying to promote. Cats.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for such wonderful music,
Mr. Coleman. You've had a profound influence upon my music. I'm an alto player. My name is Ryan Wells. I'm on that DVD there.
Thank you very much.
So what Ornette was talking about right there, to me, he was actually sharing some music theory with me, and what was fascinating was I was basically just introducing myself to him, just saying, hey, you know, I'm a jazz musician, and I love your music. And he, out of nowhere, he started giving me these, like, the crown jewels of just this theoretical construct that he had developed. And I talked about this, and this is my master's thesis, what is jazz theory today, its cultural dynamics and conceptualization. And I have a section, see, it's page 130, 132, where I actually talk about this moment that's in that video, and I kind of talk about this larger tradition in jazz education that is not really discussed much in jazz education these days. This history of jazz musicians sort of developing their own theoretical approaches and concepts, and of course a lot of people do this, but I get a little. I won't get real deep into what I discuss here, and you can find my thesis if you're ever interested in reading this thing. But basically, what I wanted to share was the chords he shared with me. As you probably couldn't hear it in the video, he said he described. Let's see, I'll read this little section. Before I could finish my full introduction, he grinned and immediately began to impart some of his jazz theory to me. He said, there are 3 important chords or modes that I could use over any chord progression or musical improvisation. He described them as C major 7, B flat minor 7, and D minor 7 with a flat 5th. He briefly explained that every note of the chromatic scale is emphasized within these chords. He ultimately suggested that improvisations based upon these chords or modes would result in creative and unique solos. And I mean, I've been meditating on this for years and messing with it, and I've kind of developed my own thing that I could explain if somebody's a music theory buff and wants to talk theory. I've been working on this kind of augmented, this chromatic augmented whole tone thing. I haven't named it yet, but it kind of revolves around this similar theoretical framework and approach to improvisation, which can be applied to everything. You know, it can also be applied to straight ahead stuff.
Professor
Spira coming at you live from Chicago, Illinois, just up here at the 2008 Jazz Festival, Chicago Jazz Festival. We're going to get out of this young lady's way right here. She's trying to get you a bicycle. Go ahead. Backstage, trying to get a glimpse of Ornette Coleman. We just had a chance to see the master play. Just a couple seconds ago, we went on the street. We left a little early, and we went on the street to try to do some music. So me and Dr. Who here, and we were playing, had a nice groove, starting to make some money. Was about to make a killing actually, and the cop came over. He had one of them little wheelers. He came over talking about, can I see your performer's ID? I was like, man, we from Cincinnati. We just came up to the Jazz Festival. We got what you talking about? Performance out there. I was like, we can't play, and he said, yeah, oh yeah. He was very interested. He was like, oh yeah, can't play. He was very assertive. And so, I thought, Chicago Jazz Festival, done it before, with Brother Air 5 years ago. I guess it was a different time 5 years ago. We had come down and did the same thing. And at the kind of like the end of the last song, we would leave real quick, set up before the people come out and hit, and didn't have any problems then, but I guess it's a new day here in Mayor Daley's kingdom, and so where is that, man? Why is it so hard to share these vibrations of love that we're trying to get out, man? This is all we're trying to do, is trying to share a little bit of love with the world, whether they want it or not, but the forces that be trying
a little bit of truth.
Construct it. So, you gotta keep playing though. It's can't
keep the struggle up.
Can't stop it, man. We can't stop playing. We're gonna let that bash the spirit. You gotta keep on. So somebody, it was a breath of fresh air to see like 10,000, however many, 20,000 people all here to listen to some real creative black music. Ornette Coleman, stuff inspired by Art Ensemble Chicago. It's the real deal, man. And so it was great to see that. The people want the music. People wanted us to keep playing. And so it is a continuous struggle, man, because the people deserve it. We're here to try and share this music, and so it's that's what's up. So we're gonna keep the struggle alive. Spira out.
Peace, love, and bread.
Alright, so this final clip that I'm about to show is a clip of the Breatharian Ensemble and myself, Brother Air, Dr. Who, Baby Babaji, Uncle Eddie Brookshire, and Loving Star. And this was, for us a real special performance. And we dedicated songs to various, mostly avant-garde jazz performers or, performers at Art Ensemble Chicago, Sun Ra, John Coltrane, and we played songs of them, and Ornette Coleman was one of them. Then we played a couple songs. One is the first is Giggin', a song called Giggin', and the second is the famous Free Jazz. And a lot of people might think that some people don't even know that there's a melody to that that you can replicate. But yeah, so here it is.